Well, I'm trying to find the port captain, and I specifically kind of chose this marina because it's right down in the center of Golfito, and I wanted to be able to walk it because I knew there would be things that I would recognize. And sure enough, I found this old building. Whenever we would come down here, there were always people that were involved in doing training and stuff with the Coasties that were working in this building. Old Coast Guard boat. Let me show you this. My name is Rick. I got my sea legs when I was in the Coast Guard, and I commanded a boat much like this one. Today, I take my small sailboat on coastal passages in search of adventure. In this season, I'm heading south from Banderas Bay with the intention of returning to the Caribbean Sea via the Panama Canal. Living the pirate life. Yep, me and these pelicans. There it is. Capitanía de Puerto. I found it. Walked right past it. De Golfito. I've finished all my runaround for the Zarpe, and that's a big deal, you know, because I want to leave on Sunday. Everybody gives you a hard time leaving on Sunday, and one of the things that has been interesting is I'm learning about putting together a Zarpe package. It's what the agents do. They're not that hard to figure out. Yeah, I figured that out a little bit, and that's pretty good. Saves money, you know. Here checking out, they want $150 just for the agent. And you still have to go and walk around with the agent and go to all the places. So now I've left the marina and I'm walking over to the supermarket to do some reprovisioning. There's the captain of the port. Spent some time there today and yesterday. There's the old Coast Guard building again. I saw somebody sitting on that bench the other day, so they still, and that car wasn't there yesterday, so this still may be used by the Coast Guard in some way or another. I really don't know, but I remember this building from 20 years ago. Pretty crazy. Look how green everything is. It's just amazing. So humid. There's a lot of humidity in the air. Really hasn't rained that much yet. Oh, look at this tree. Whoa. I don't think this is part of the Coast Guard, but look at that. That's cool. Whoa. Cool. And as I walked past this bar, I saw the unmistakable sign of a Coastie Dive Bar. Life rings from Boutwell and Sherman. Very cool. Both boats were home ported out of Coast Guard Island in Alameda, California when I was there. That was pretty cool with the life rings. That wasn't a bad mega Supermercado. You know, was able to get things that I had run out of, mostly candies. When I got back to the marina, it was time for a cerveza. Later in the evening, it was time for a walkabout and a little film about. The building all the way to the left is where the showers are, and you can see a group of people playing volleyball a little bit to the right there. Strolling through Marina Bahia Golfito, I feel a little bummed knowing that I'll have to leave soon. Every step that I take seems to whisper to me, remember this moment. I see so many beautiful things around me, like something out of a storybook. Even though I'm sad to leave, I'm hopeful to come back again and see how Golfito continues its rise and to play with the wind some more in this magical place. Yeah, it's pretty all right here. Yeah, not a bad little stop. Costa Rica's cool because check in, if you're heading south, is at Playa del Coco, which is cool. Check out at the other end of the country Golfito, also wicked cool. All right, well, thank you all for making your way aft for this session of All Hands Aft. Today, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about my thoughts with regards to Costa Rica, what I learned about Costa Rica, and also not specifically Costa Rica, but just this whole transit down Baja through Mexico, down through Central America, and now into Costa Rica, and what I've learned. So first, let me give you kind of an overview of the whole evolution of my thought process. You know, when I left San Diego, I'm timing hurricane season. So you want to leave like middle of November, and then you can cruise till hurricane season. And then you have to find a place to lay up, whether that's up in Sea Cortez or some other place. For me, it ended up being Banderas Bay, but that was the extent of my thought process, was hurricane season. To my way of thinking now, you got to worry about hurricanes from San Diego down to Huatulco. Once you're in Huatulco, though, now it's the big wind, right? You've got the Tehuantepecers coming up, and then as you push further south, then you're going to get to the Papagayos. So I see it as like hurricane from San Diego to Huatulco, big wind from Huatulco to Playa del Coco, and south of Playa del Coco, it's rainy season where the concern is thunderstorms and lightning. So thinking about the trip down on the Pacific side to the Panama Canal, I think of it as three different zones. The hurricane zone, the wind zone, which is kind of year-round thing. I mean, some parts of the year it's worse than others, but it's a year-round threat. And then the rainy season, which coincides with what we understand as the hurricane season. But the threat is not rain, the threat is thunderstorms and lightning. Yeah, so that's how I view that now. So shifting gears to my thoughts on, because I'm getting ready now to leave Golfito, right? And I want to kind of just reflect on what I learned about Costa Rica and what I think about Costa Rica. There are a couple points that I just want to talk about. First of all, if you're referring to somebody who's a native of Costa Rica, they are called ticos or ticas. And of course, people like me, you know, expats or visitors or whatever, they're gringos, just like in Mexico. But ticos and ticas. And even the ticos and ticas will refer to themselves as ticos and ticas. It's not a term that the gringos use to describe Costa Ricans. No, it's the Costa Ricans describe themselves this way. I am a tico, right? Or I am a tica. The other thing that's interesting about Costa Rica is they have a, you know, like locations have either mottos or catchphrases or things that are associated with them. Sometimes, you know, if it's a especially tourist destinations like Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? Well, in Costa Rica, they have one. It's pura vida, the pure life, right? But the pure life, like, what does that mean? Like, there's no objective meaning to the pure life. So you have to look at the way it's used in the culture. And so I really, every single time I would hear people say pura vida, I would try to take note of the context in which it was being presented. And I noticed there were lots of different contexts. And I remember one specific instance that really triggered my brain, and I want to share that with you, and you'll get a sense for what I mean. I was here in Golfito, and what happened was I wanted to get diesel, and there is a fuel pier here at Marina Golfito, and I had 4 jerry cans that I wanted to fill. The guys who worked the dock saw that I was messing around with jerry cans, and one of them walked over and said, "You need diesel?" I said, "Yeah." And then he came back with like 3 guys, and I was like, "Man, I'm just going to do this myself, no problem, you know." And they were like, "Yeah, cool, no problem." So I got a cart, and I put my jerry cans in the cart, and I was walking it over to the fuel dock. And I passed the guy who was going to help. And I said, hola, as I passed. And he was very friendly, and he looked at me and smiled, and he said, pura vida. In that moment, I kind of got it, right? Pura vida in that moment, in that instance, was, to me, a reference of self-reliance. Because in Marina Golfito, there's a lot of money. I was the smallest, definitely the least expensive boat in that whole marina. So these guys are used to dealing with people who don't mess around with fueling their boats themselves. So they probably saw me doing it myself, and they were like, dude, self-reliance, yeah, pura vida. Okay, and so I started realizing, man, pura vida isn't a thing that you translate objectively. It is a thing that can have contextual meaning, like, keep it real. What are you doing? I'm keeping it real, man. You could use that in all kinds of different contexts. You could just think there's a lot of little English expressions that we use, and in instances where I might choose one of those English expressions, what I hear is pura vida. It's almost like, to me, pura vida is, hey, however you choose to do you, that's the pure life. Thanks for watching this episode of Sailing Frog's Leap. Give this video a like. If you stayed to the end and you liked what you heard, give this video a like, and maybe leave a comment, and definitely subscribe, because it really helps the channel. Until next week, my friends, pura vida. For real-time updates, check out Sailing Frog's Leap on Instagram.